Aubrey, I believe we have a problem. And the problem is, what are you doing in blackface, black man?
Aubrey, we have a problem. Why were you doing blackface? Drake has a history of disrespecting Puffy, and I've got the footage to prove it. But there's another issue to uncover. Wendy Williams. Why is her team keeping her family and close friends away while she's in rehab? Why is she allegedly being sent gifts and scripts while in this facility? Something doesn't add up. Someone wants all the control. We all appreciate Dot for exposing Drake, but what if I told you Wendy Williams called him out first? She's never been Drake's biggest fan. Back in the day, she exposed his anti-black behavior, his problematic attitude towards black women, and more. But now, Wendy isn't in her element. Why? The simple answer: she paid the price for speaking the truth. In 2018, Drake's plate was full thanks to Pusha T. Pusha used a picture of Drake in blackface for the cover art of his diss track, The Story of Adidon. Fans initially thought the image was edited, but Pusha confirmed it was real, saying, "These are his truths." Drake scrambled to explain, claiming the picture was from a 2007 project highlighting the struggles of young black actors. His explanation sparked an online debate. Some dismissed it, while others were outraged. Wendy Williams? She had a field day. On her show, Wendy ripped Drake apart. Aubrey, we have a problem. What are you doing in blackface? And please don't say you were young. You were old enough to know better. Wendy didn't stop there. She also addressed the ghostwriting allegations against Drake, questioning the authenticity of his music. "You don't write your own music, so anything you say isn't really from your heart," she said. Wendy tore into Drake, criticizing his actions and questioning his character. The blackface incident was just the beginning. Drake was also under fire for hiding his son from the world, a fact Pusha T exposed. Wendy drew comparisons between Drake and his father, Dennis Graham, who walked out on Drake as a child. She suggested that Drake was doing the same to his son. Drake has enough money to keep Sophie quiet and the boy in the finest, but he goes on with his life, and his fans still love him, Wendy commented. She even warned Rihanna, "You dodged a bullet with this joker." Wendy also had a blast when Drake finally admitted to having a son. She pointed out the flaws in his reasoning, especially when he claimed he wasn't hiding his son from the world, but rather hiding the world from his son. Wendy didn't buy it. She was critical, sarcastic, and unrelenting. Drake's issues with women didn't end there. In 2022, he dropped the track Circo Loco, where he seemingly dissed Megan Thee Stallion, referencing the incident where she was shot by Tory Lanez. Megan clapped back, calling out Drake for using her trauma for clout. Wendy, of course, would have had something to say about this if she had been on the air. Wendy wasn't just interested in Drake's music, she was also intrigued by his personal life. Back in the day, a woman accused Drake of mistreating her and getting her pregnant during his Boy Meets World tour in Manchester in 2017. The case was settled out of court, but Wendy had a blast covering the drama. She even gave Drake some advice, warning him about the dangers of one-night stands and the importance of setting boundaries. But the most significant issue Wendy had with Drake was his attitude toward black women. Kendrick Lamar exposed Drake's disdain for black women in his track, Meet the Grahams, but Wendy had already called him out years before. In Circo Loco, Drake also dissed Megan Thee Stallion, sparking outrage. Wendy always saw through Drake's facade and wasn't afraid to speak out. In 2023, Drake dropped his album For All the Dogs, where he took shots at Rihanna. In the track Fear of Heights, he tried to convince everyone that he wasn't hung up on her, but his bitterness was evident. Wendy had previously doubted the legitimacy of Drake and Rihanna's relationship, calling it a stunt and not a real relationship. She believed that Drake had a pattern of going after strong black women, as seen in his diss towards Serena Williams in Middle of the Ocean. Drake's history of disrespecting women didn't stop at Serena. In the same track, he called her husband a groupie, prompting a clapback from Alexis Ohanian. Wendy had always been critical of Drake's treatment of women, and her commentary on his feuds with these powerful women was sharp and insightful. But Wendy's words may have come at a cost. Since May 2023, Wendy has been out of the spotlight, reportedly in rehab, with her family unable to visit her. A blind item suggested that Wendy was being silenced and controlled. Even her close friend Regina Shell expressed concern, saying Wendy wouldn't be this quiet unless she was forced to be. Regina's words are worrying, considering she's known Wendy for 44 years. Wendy's situation is reminiscent of Britney Spears' conservatorship, raising questions about her well-being and the people controlling her life. Wendy has been under guardianship since early 2022, and her friend believes she's been silenced for speaking the truth about powerful figures like Drake. Fans who once brushed off Wendy's words are now realizing she might have been right all along. One fan commented, "Wendy always had the tea. I miss her being on TV daily." Another added, "Wendy was always telling the truth, and no one supported her." Love you, Wendy, queen of true gossip. Wendy's history with Drake goes back even further. In 2014, Drake and Diddy got into a physical altercation at Live Miami during DJ Khaled's birthday bash. The fight reportedly started over a song, with Diddy feeling that Drake had disrespected him by recording 0 to 100 without his permission. Wendy sided with Diddy, saying Drake had a history of disrespecting the mogul. Wendy recounted how Drake had grabbed a microphone from Diddy during a performance, an act she found deeply disrespectful. She argued that Drake needed to show more respect for someone of Diddy's stature and age, suggesting that Diddy's punch was long overdue. Wendy never shied away from calling out Drake's behavior, whether it was his issues with Diddy or his treatment of women. But her absence from the spotlight during some of Drake's more recent controversies has left a void. Fans expected Wendy to weigh in on Drake's ongoing rap battles and personal drama, but instead she's been off the radar. The blind item raises concerns about why Wendy's team is keeping her isolated, and it's hard not to wonder if her outspoken nature has led to her being silenced. Wendy's criticism of Drake, especially her accusations of his disrespect towards black women, may have made her a target. Drake is a powerful figure in the music industry with connections to influential people like Lucian Grange. It's not far-fetched to think that those in power would want to silence someone who's willing to expose their golden boy's flaws. Wendy's absence raises questions about what's really going on behind the scenes. As we reflect on Wendy's career, it's clear that she was never afraid to speak her mind, even if it meant going against popular figures like Drake. Her willingness to call out his behavior long before others did shows that she was ahead of her time. Fans are starting to see that Wendy's criticism wasn't just Wendy being Wendy, but rather a warning that we should have paid more attention to. Wendy Williams may be out of the spotlight, but her impact is still felt. She was never afraid to tell the truth, even if it meant facing backlash. Now, as we watch from the sidelines, we can only hope that Wendy's voice hasn't been silenced for good. So what do you think? Did Wendy get taken out for speaking the truth about Drake? And why didn't anyone pay attention to her words back then? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.